Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're doing a Let's Play and very early impressions for Silent North VR, a game that was released on the Steam store yesterday, April 8th, 2025. This game normally retails for $20. It's on a release sale 15% off. I did buy this game and I'm testing it out on the Meta Quest 3 using link cable. Silent North is a, survival game with PvE and PvP gameplay. So there'll be like zombies out in the world. You have to look out for hunger, for thirst, look for supplies, all while facing the danger of the zombies and other players. So it is that type of game. It is called Silent North, obviously, because there is a lot of snow. The only thing I've done is basically lower the music volume, and I did change the turn speed all the way up and changed it to smooth turn. Servers, as you can see, there's plenty of servers, so that's good news. But I generally try to go for the server with the least amount of ping, and it seems to be this one, Silent Northeast. No, Northeast. This one's. I might choose one that's a little bit more. I think I'm gonna choose number 4 because there's more people here. So let's do this one that has the most amount of people. The ping is still, all right. I'm actually in Texas, so, not the best ping, but not the worst ping. And we'll see what happens when we spawn in. We could die right away. So I played this game for about an hour earlier. I kept dying. It's pretty normal in this type of game. It's also very dark. Now, I did spawn in an unusual location. I'm way up. But I want to stay up because, there we go. The sun is going down. Perfect. So the game has been a lot of it just being really dark. And I do have a weapon of some kind. I guess it's a screwdriver. The weapon seems to be pretty random. So far, it's only been a knife or a screwdriver. Obviously, you want the knife. I think the knife is better than the screwdriver, but it doesn't really matter too much. Because other players are going to have a gun. If you don't have a gun, you have to do your best to avoid other players and avoid zombies. Now, like I said, it's my biggest complaint about this game is that it's always dark. Like, it really is always dark. It seems to be always nighttime for whatever reason. But even in the daylight, at least what I played, it's still not really bright at all. You do have a flashlight. I'm going to turn it on just because we're in a place where I don't want to face any fall damage. You see I have health, hunger, and thirst, and also temperature. So it is possible to freeze to death as well. So that, like I said, it's a survival combat game. Survival being the key word there. Some people have compared this game to DayZ. I have not played DayZ. I don't own DayZ, so I can't say. But I played other survival games, and it seems to be your pretty typical survival game. And you gotta watch out there for the zombies. So what I like to do is I like to turn off my flashlight to not attract the zombies. And it honestly is so much better to try to work your way around the zombies. It seems like the light attracts them. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems so. In fact, let me turn on the light because and I don't really care if I die because we seem to be like in the middle of nowhere anyway. So we need a better spawn point. Now I noticed some frame rate drops, some micro stutters, and like I said, this game you have to stand up because let's see. This is pretty typical. So I want to say this is pretty typical. You go out, you try to find loot, and you come across nothing, and it's too dark. You can't see. Here we go. We got something in case we ever find a weapon. It's pretty worthless to us now, though. But hey, who knows? If we ever find a weapon, it might be useful in the future. I don't think we'll survive long enough for it to be useful, but it's better than no loot, right? I guess, maybe. But like I said, my main problem with the game is just it's so dark. You can't see anything. Like, look at this. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're supposed to do. Like, how do you survive like this? You can barely see. Luckily, like I said, the zombies are pretty dumb. And I usually just try to outrun them versus trying to fight them. But usually what happens is I run into a person with a gun and they one-shot kill me because it seems like everybody has better ping than I do for whatever reason. So, yeah, that was pretty boring. Keep in mind, this game is in early access. The devs describe it as being in alpha stage. I think they said alpha beta, if I'm not correct. As a reviewer, and like I said, I'm not reviewing this game. I'm just giving you early impressions. I could care less what the developers call a game. Okay, if you're putting a game for sale on the Steam store, I'm going to review the game on the Steam store, and I consider price as part of the equation. So I don't care if you call it early access. I care what price you're charging for the game. And that's how I measure whether the game is something I can recommend or not, just based on the price. So if you want to put it in early access, that's fine with me, but, make sure the price matches the content that you're offering, both quality and quantity. Otherwise, I'll have to give it a negative score. Because, like I said, neither you nor I should care what a dev calls the game, whether they call it early access or not. They're offering a product for a price. And the question, oh crap. What happened to my light? Oh my god. So, you see my light is just floating up in the air. Let me put it right here. That's why I'm afraid to get out my weapon, because I'm afraid my weapon will fall from my hand. But like I said, I do notice some stutter. But the frame rates, it's a pretty steady 90 frames per second for the most part, so I don't know what these micro stutters are. The micro stutters don't happen all the time, but they do happen every now and then. But like I was saying, you do have full locomotion, smooth and snap turning, head camera tracking. I believe the other option would be controller tracked movement, but I haven't tested it out, so I'm not really sure. But I do know it has a head track movement. So what that means is basically if you look like this, you'll go this way. Which, usually I go for controller tracking, but since this is there's melee here, what happens with melee, if it'll ruin your movement. So for melee games, I don't really like to use that movement, although that is my preferred movement, is to use controller tracked camera movement. That way I can look and still go forward. Okay. So let's just keep going. There's a lot of walking in this game. Now, I will say that although this is a low polygon world, it does look, especially when the Aurora Borealis is showing, it does look nice at times. It is scenic at times, but obviously, it is a low polygon. It has poor lighting. It has poor textures. So it's not the best looking game, but I think they did the best that they could with these Quest type graphics. It's not the worst looking game either. So I'm going to give the game some credit. At least for the most part, it's running at 90 frames per second. And these are not the worst visuals in VR. I wouldn't call them good, but it's not bad either. Like I said, it's a low polygon art style, and for being that, it looks relatively decent. I don't really like the zombie models though, just because there's not enough variety. But really the gist of the game, and I believe this is probably the same in DayZ. Oh no, I think I took some fall damage. Ooh, did I take some? No, I didn't take any damage. Wow. I thought for sure I was going to take some fall damage. Now, like I said, you do have to play standing because to reach the ground, you have to actually reach down like that, like so. You actually have to reach to the ground. You cannot jump. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happened? What happened? Oh, I got disconnected. I have no idea what happened. Well, that just ruined my gameplay. Like I mentioned, this is early access. That actually hasn't happened before. Like I said, I've been playing the game for an hour. That's the first time that's happened. I don't know what happened. That's weird. I don't know. Was it a server reset or something? I don't know. Let's look at the lowest ping though. So, the lowest ping is 61, I think. But let's go for this one. There's 12. It's okay. It's about half full, so that should be fine. Let's see where we spawn this time. I think last time we had a really bad luck with the spawn point. We were not close to anything, so we were just walking. So the thing about the game is that you cannot. Okay, so this game does save your progress. So this saved my progress. And look, there's some shotgun. There should be shotgun shells. Oh, there's no more shotgun shells here. So this game actually saved where I was. So this is a previous server that I was in. Oh, hello. Yeah. And so this is what happens. A lot of the times you'll run into a player who has better gear than you, and they'll just kill you. Even though I proceeded no threat to him. That's pretty common. I don't know if this game is run by a bunch of kids or what the case is, but every time I've run into another player, they've always killed me. But you saw that I had just spawned in the game, and I actually had no weapon or anything. But this time I do have a knife, and I hear like an echo, which is not good. And I don't know if you guys can hear the echo. We might leave this server if we have this echo problem. But at least there's more daylight here. It isn't as dark. But like I said, even during the day, it's too dark. This is what I meant earlier by it's always too dark. You see, I think this is daytime, but it's still too dark in my opinion. Like, I don't know, is it supposed to be this cloudy or what's the issue? Why is it so dark all the time? But at least we don't have to use our flashlight, so I guess that's good. And I do see something up ahead, or I did. I don't know. Let's just go down. Let's see what happens. I thought I saw something. Yeah. And we have our knife this time, so. Oh crap. So like I said, I generally prefer to run away from zombies rather than try to get into combat with them. I guess I should take a knife out just in case, but and I have no idea where the zombie went. Do you guys still see the zombie somewhere? So yeah, I mean, I think first things first, this game is just way too dark. I know they're trying to go for that Arctic feel, but I kind of think devs go for this decision in VR just to hide the fact that their game has very poor graphics. There's another game that's set in ice cold that's pretty popular, but I think they set it in the cold just because the game looks really bad. So there's shotgun ammo here. But, I found lots of ammo, but I've yet to find any kind of weapon. Other than a screwdriver. Hi. Have you found any weapon besides a screwdriver? Oh. And it didn't even matter because, like I said, I think that guy was cheating or something because he was above the ground. So I don't know what I was supposed to do against that. But like I said, other players just seem to gank you. I don't know if this server just invites all the trolls or if every server is like this. But I mean, I don't see any point in killing people because I don't have anything. I don't have any weapons or anything. Like this is the starter knife that everyone gets. So. Now the map has a nice size, but but it's not like it's random. Once you've seen parts of the map, you've seen them all. So I've already seen this building. I already know what's in it. Which I believe there's nothing here. But there is like a location here. I don't know if the door's open or not. But again, there's nothing. And I believe that's why there's nobody here, because there's just nothing here. There's a piano though. I don't know that I remember seeing a piano. And here's let's see if we get any loot. Medical injector. Whoa! We actually found our first big item. I need a weapon though, not this, but I'll take this. And by the way, you have a backpack. We have our first real item that I found, which is a medical injector. Wow. Whoa. And we have a hunting cap. Now, I found these before, but I've tried to put them on, but as you can see here, they just fall off. I don't know if there's any way to actually put them on or not. There we go. It's in our backpack now, as you can see. But if we can actually put them on, I have no idea. Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. That's how you do it. Okay, well, this game really needs a tutorial. And there's a stick bundle. I wonder what this means. Sticks for what? What can you make with sticks? Again, no tutorial, no explanation. Are those sticks valuable for something? I have no idea. But I would assume the sticks by themselves don't do anything, so I'm not going to get too excited about finding sticks. And we found this, but I don't think this does anything. I think maybe you can make a fire. Maybe that's what the sticks are for. Maybe? I have no idea. Okay, let's keep going. A fridge. And we found an apple, which is pretty valuable, I think. Now, we're not hungry, so we're not going to eat it. But if we do get hungry, we can use it later on. Okay, so, there are different loot in the buildings, but they're basically the same. And as you can see, there's a dead something and a zombie over there, so we don't want to go over there. I thought I heard somebody, but I don't see them. Could have sworn I heard somebody whistling and somebody talking. But where they are, I have no idea. Maybe they're up there. Huh, that's interesting. So you can go multiple ways. Like I said, it is a pretty big map to explore. And I've never been up there, so I want to see what's up there. I'd like to find a good weapon of some kind. There was some dude with a 6-hour running around killing everybody because, like I said, we don't have any ways to protect ourselves. There's a lot of bullets laying all around, but actual firearms, I have never seen one. I've only seen other players have it, but I've never actually seen the loot. So we're going to go up here and see what's up. There might be somebody there. There might not. There might be loot. There might not be anything. We'll find out. We do have, for the first time ever though, I have some valuable items. So I am a little scared to die here because I do have that medical injector and an apple. Whoa, looks like somebody... Whoa. Like I said, I'm not going to fight the zombies because I think that would be pretty stupid. But I might go up here and see what's up. Uh-oh. Okay, so I think we're safe for now, but I don't know that we have anything here. Yeah, it doesn't seem like there's anything of note. Oh, here's something. What is this? A plastic bottle. Oh, it looks like it might have water. So that's pretty valuable. So now, you know, if we need... We're not thirsty right now. We're not hungry. So the one good thing about this game is that although you do have hunger and thirst, it's not like you're constantly hungry or constantly thirsty. So, you know, it's important to keep track of it, but it's not like the most important thing. Zombies and other players are much scarier than the lack of food or water. There's nothing here. Nothing. It's just a... I don't know if they spawn later on or what's the deal with that. Like I said, with zombies, it's just usually better to run around. And actually, I don't know if there's any point. Like, we might just want to skedaddle. Because, yeah, I don't think there's any point. Now, the bad news is we lost our knife. We stabbed that zombie and it stayed stuck to his body. So, that's not good. Now we're totally defenseless out there. But I think that zombie stopped chasing us, so we're good. Unless we run into another player. Which, you know, this is, like I said, it's a pretty decent-sized map. So you could run around for quite a while without seeing another player, especially when the map isn't completely full like this one. I think it was half full. But you see, when you run into other players, they're more likely to want to kill you. I don't know why. Like, I don't see any point to it. Wait, did we just go back? Wait. Well, I hope we didn't just run a full circle. Well, maybe there's something there now. I don't know. No, it's not a full circle, right? It's just another. It's just the location that we've been to before, but I don't think we did a circle. Well, at least I hope we didn't. I don't remember anymore. We've been doing a whole lot of nothing. Now, I did notice a little micro stutter there. Now, there's some shotgun ammo here, but for whatever reason, I'm not able to get it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm not going to stay here forever because I might get... I do notice some lag, though. Well, we finally have an MP5, but we can't get it for whatever reason. This sucks. So there's a lot of lag or something. There's some kind of bug. So as you see, we finally found a weapon, an MP5, which I'm really happy about. That's what I've been wanting, but we cannot get it for whatever reason. This sucks big time. So, okay. I would say this game is pretty broken in early access. You saw earlier I just got kicked off the server. I don't know why. Then we run into this problem where I cannot loot at all. I would consider this to be something pretty basic that needs to work in this type of game. That's a survival. I guess crafting also. You know, you could put attachments to this weapon. It all sounds very cool, but if I can't even pick up a weapon that when I found the loot, then it's not something I can recommend. So, like I said, I did buy this game. It is in early access. Right now, I would say I would only recommend this to people who believe in this developer, Combat Waffles, and they don't have a good history. I mean, they made Ghost of Tabor, and everybody was happy with them because Ghost of Tabor was being developed, and it was a pretty good game. But then they came up with Grim, you know, recently, and they haven't finished Ghost of Tabor, so a lot of people were unhappy. And then they released Silent North really quickly after that. So they have 3 games in early access, and none of them are fully developed. So this developer has a big red flag as far as, is this game going to be further developed? Is it going to be fixed in the future? Right now, it's a broken game. And, you know, like I said, I paid $17, you know, $20 normal price, $15 release sale. But I'm definitely not getting my money's worth because this game doesn't function. So, unfortunately, I have to give this game a negative review. I didn't want to do that. Actually, I don't have any problems with Combat Waffles. You know, I think I measure games, again, real simple. Is the game worth the money being charged? You know, and usually I'll give a 5 out of 10 as long as it's working, you know, to a bare minimum. And it's not, you know, like a total asset flip or just a terrible game. Now, this has a lot of potential. This could be a really good game, but it needs a lot of further development. And right now, it's in a broken state. And I cannot recommend any game in a broken state unless it's being given out for free. But even if it's, you know, even at free, you know, it has to have something about it. But as is right now, I cannot recommend it, and I have to give it a negative review. The only reason to buy this is if you really believe in Combat Waffles and want to support development of this game. That's the only reason to buy this game. Otherwise, I have to give this a negative review. I'm not going to score it because it's too early. Like I think the developer said this was an alpha stage, but to me, even for an alpha game, it's too broken. Like, I don't care that the developer has labeled this early access. A game has to function for me to be able to recommend it, and it doesn't function, so I cannot recommend it. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This is my Let's Play. Early impressions, not a full review, but if this was a full review, I would trash this game a lot worse. But as early impressions, like I said, I cannot recommend this game, so I'm going to give it a thumbs down. Sorry, Combat Waffles, but you have to put a product there that at least works for me to at least give it a neutral recommendation in early access. And you have failed to do that, so I cannot recommend this game. Anyways, I hope you found this video useful. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. Goodbye.